Pradhana and start the session. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Annado Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. The only Guru of three religions, Traitatiram originator, sensational writer, Hindu virtue donor, the author of more than 100 divine holy scriptures, the emperor of spiritual kingdom, Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwarlu. We are learning Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita written by Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwarlu. I pray Guru to make us understand his wisdom in a right direction. So, in the last week, we learned Rajavidya Rajaguhyam chapter. Today, we are starting Vibhuti Yogam chapter. That is ninth chapter in Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita. In this chapter, Bhagavan started teaching. So, here in first Slokam, what he is saying, let us see. भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्येहं प्रीयमानाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया. This slokam is talking about gnanam, that means wisdom, divine wisdom. So what he is saying, the meaning of this slokam is, so with a greater love I am telling you, so far I told you great words. Again, for sake of your good, for sake of your goodness, for make you much more benefit. So I am explaining much more greater words again. That's what he is saying. So, so far in many slokas, Bhagavan told about absolute soul a lot more. Still, he is saying that he is going to teach extra many more things about absolute soul. That is why he said to help you more. So for sake of you, he said he is going to teach us. So he is teaching to us, not only for just Arjuna. So when he said so, we will get more interest, focus on the matter what he is teaching to us. So that way we have to think, and we have to keep more focus and learn the wisdom. So let us move on to second slokam. Name vidussuraganaha prabhavam namaharshayah ahamadiri devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. So this slokam is talking about formful God. So we have two things. One is formful God, one is formless God. Formful God is always Bhagavan. Formless God is called Nirakara. That Nirakara is formless, which is absolute soul, because absolute soul has no name, no shape, no work at all. So that's why we say he is formless. So here the God who is in the form of human being is called Sakara. He is formful God. So about him he is saying that the Devatas, the demigods and Maharshis, the sages, they can't know the birth of him, birth of the Bhagavan. So he is before them. He is before them, and he is the greatest. So that's what he says. So how come the birth of the demigods come to a creature, a immortal? That's because of their based on their punyam, how much punyam they earn, how much merits they earn, how many good deeds they earn in their life, that becomes as a merit to them. That merit, when it becomes the higher level merit, then that will make them to born as demigods. And also the people who earn more wisdom fire, he is called Maharshi or sage or saint, we can say. Maharshi, we can say Maharshi. So, so those demigods and Maharshis can't know the birth of the Absolute Soul. Absolute Soul will take a human form and uh, he will be seen by human beings, but nobody can identify him as a Bhagavan. So so here even demigods and Maharshis can't know the birth of Bhagavan. So both demigods and Maharshis are on the uh, earth itself. So uh, and the birth of the Bhagavan is also happening on the earth itself. So whenever Bhagavan is on the earth, these demigods and Maharshis can't know him. So the Bhagavan is on the highest level, on the greatest level over the demigods and the Maharshis as well. That's why he said he is on top on them. He is the greatest of both of them. If somebody tries to know about him, then only he will be known. But it is also very hard to identify that. So there are very less people. It is the rarest thing to identify him. That's what the greatness of the Bhagavan he is telling in the second slokam. Let us move on to the third slokam. यो मामजमनादिञ्च वेत्ति लोकमहेश्वरम् असम्मूढसमर्थ्येषु सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते. This slokam is talking about the Absolute Soul over here. What the Absolute Soul is saying here is he doesn't he doesn't have the beginning. He doesn't have the birth. So he is the Lord of the lokas, Lord of all the lokas. When somebody comes to know about this, he will come out of all the ignorance he had and he would come out from all his sins and he is going to get liberated. So, we came to know that the Absolute Soul has no begin, no end. He is infinite. He has no name, no shape, no form at all. Such Absolute Soul cannot be known. We can't know his birth as well. Some people may say that the Absolute Soul is coming and taking as a human form on the earth, right? Yes, it is true. But whatever the birth he is taking, that birth is not equivalent to all the creatures' birth. He will not have characteristics of the birth, whatever all the creatures take. So, all the human beings are being born because of the male and female. But when Absolute Soul takes the human form, when he takes the birth, he will not, without any relation with the man, a male, a female can give birth to him. So that's why his birth is not like all the human beings' birth. And he is the Lord of all the lokas. Lokas means realms. So when somebody comes to know these things about him, they will come out of the ignorance what they had in their head. And they will come out of all their sins. Because by knowing that and they will follow the wisdom and that when they practice that, when they follow that, they will get the wisdom fire in their head that is going to burn their karma. So when their wisdom increases, what happens? It will pushes away all the ignorance. That way the guy will get the liberation. Let us move on to the fourth and fifth slokams. बुद्धिर्ज्ञानमसम्मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो अभावो भयं च अभयमेव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टितपोदानं यशो अयशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः. What is saying? Intellect, wisdom, uh, non-attachment, patience, truth, controlling of the organs, um, happiness, sorrow, all this happening and not happening, fear, non-fearness, bravery, fear, bravery, non-violence, um, the equal view, and that means fairness, satisfaction, penance, donation, popularity, no, unpopularity, all those kind of feelings, whatever the creatures are getting, they are coming from absolute soul itself. That's what the fourth and fifth slokam is talking about. Let us move on to the sixth slokam. महर्षयः सप्त पूर्वे चत्वारो मनवस्तथा मद्भावा मानसा जाता येषां लोक इमाः प्रजाः. So this slokam is talking about absolute soul, what absolute soul did in the beginning itself. So the meaning of the slokam, what it says, he created in the beginning 7 Maharshas and 4 Manavaha. He has created just like that. After that, he created all the creatures. So we need to deep dive into this slokam explanation, but for ordinary human beings, this is very hard to understand. Since this slokam contains a lot of code words in it, we don't know those code words. So, if we observe the military section, in the military section, they will use the code language for communication between the groups or battalions. So, when they are fighting with enemies, so they will speak alpha, beta, gamma, delta language. That that code we don't know. So they will define a code, and also even they send the Morse codes, so messages. So based on that, they will analyze the situation. Based on that, they will take the decision whether to attack, which way to attack, and all those kind of things. So whoever get trained in that language, they will easily come to know about the signals, wireless signals, and the wireless operators can understand that, and they will remember that and speak about that to their team. So that's what it happens in the military section. So in the army or navy or air force, whatever it may be, it's part of the military section. So they will use a smaller code. When they decode it, it will be having a bigger explanation in that. In the slokam also, God gave a small code over here. So whoever can crack that code, then they can explain that. So there is a mystery or secret in this slokam, because we came to know that there is a code, we need to decode that one. So by not knowing this, some people understood that God created 7 rishis and 4 manavas, like Sanaka Sananda, something like that. So that way, what they thought, in the beginning there were 15 people. God created 15 people. Some people even thought in the beginning God created 11 people. So with them entire creation happened. So just by knowing about these matters, there are some rationalists, right? Rationalists. So rationalists will ask for the reason and they will dig deeper and they will question everything. So when you give proper answer, then only they will satisfy with that. So if they come to know it is truth, then only they will accept that. So when these words, after listening to these words, what they said, so without female, how come this creation happened? Without female, how come male people created these uh, creatures, all the creatures? So when they pose that question, the people who wrote that way, like seven rishis and four manus, they will not have proper answer. Then they will say that the rationalists say that the Bhagavad Gita is a trash. So this is just like a what is that, fabricated story, fabricated uh, mythology. So there is no truth at all. They will say like that. But here in Bhagavad Gita, at one place, God said that for the rational, um, targeting the rationalists, He said that He is not going to make rationalists read His wisdom because they are against the God. So as the God's words are like that, God mm, mm, God gave a thought to those people who wrote seven rishis and four manus. So they wrote like that, and rationalists, just by reading that, they are leaving away the Bhagavad Gita. So we can think that way. Now Swami is saying that even though whatever the interpretation we are giving, some people may criticize this interpretation because they will question that on what basis you are explaining, interpreting this one. So for that, Swami said clearly before itself that there is a code in this Shloka. If you don't know the code, you cannot crack that one. You need to know the code. If you know the code, how to crack that puzzle, so then only you will enter into that and see everything, all the matter in all the matter. So this code will come, this will be coming to some people grasping only. Only some people can grasp this one, not everybody. So Swami is saying that. So you have to use your intellect and try to understand this one, he is saying. So let's move on. So what he is explaining, let's move on. So in the beginning, there were no five elements whatever we see right now: sky, air, fire, water. So we don't know. We didn't know what kind of situation it was. So in that situation, in that stage, there is there was no world at all. Nothing exists, but the time exists. We know that the time is God, right? Time is God. So nobody knows what kind of state it was, but absolute soul exists. That absolute soul, uh, what he did, he created a nature, prakriti, which is equally powerful of him. So he he brought the nature, prakriti, outside of him. So first there was a space, nothing was there. From there the nature came out, the prakriti came out. So that prakriti, he divided that prakriti into five parts: sky, air, fire, water. So this prakriti is called prapancham. Prapancham means the world. So like that, in the beginning, there was a world, but there were no creatures at all. So in the beginning, the absolute soul was a male, and he created the female called Prakriti. It has the female characteristics. So that way, male and female in the beginning were are the absolute soul and nature. So the absolute soul, he divided the nature into five parts. So that way, the world is also called prapancham, because here pra means important, pancham means five. The important five elements are there, right? That is so called prakriti. Even if you divide the prakriti, you can see para karuti. There also five uh, letters you can pronounce. You can pronounce five letters over there. Five phonetical sounds you can see over there. So when there was no when there was no living being at all, that time what happened, when after world was created, so one part from absolute soul came out. It is called immortal soul. So this immortal soul got divided into seven parts. So the immortal soul is beyond the happiness and sorrow. That is called Ananda. We say it is Ananda, also Brahmananda. So, and also there is a name, Maharsha, for immortal soul. We call Maharsha to immortal soul as well. So, when the immortal soul got divided into seven parts, that is called Maharshaya Sapta. Maharshaya Sapta means seven parts of the Atma, soul, immortal soul. So, this way we need to call Sapta Maharshas, means seven Rishis, means seven, not seven Rishis. Seven Maharsha means seven parts of the immortal soul. This is the this is the thing nobody understood so far, only Swami explained to us. So we understood that Maharsha Sapta means seven rishis. Then Chatvaro Manava means we understood four manus. That is not the correct one. So let us know how Chatvara Manava happened. In the beginning, first, God created Prakriti, that is the immovable nature, and that immovable nature contains five parts: sky, air, fire, water, which has no life in it. So, when there is a pair to the Absolute Soul as a Prakriti, and from the Absolute Soul, Absolute Soul created immortal soul. We came to know about the immortal soul. It has seven parts. It's Sapta Maharshas. So Sapta Maharshas. So then the part of absolute soul is immortal soul. Then from then there is then the Chara Prakriti came out from Achara Prakriti. That means from the world there is a movable nature which got created. So movable nature came out from the immovable nature. So when there is a pair to absolute soul as a prakriti nature, then there formed a pair to immortal soul, one that is called achara prakriti, immovable nature. So that way four things are here: immortal soul and movable nature, absolute soul and immovable nature. Four things are over here. So when four things got created, uh, so what absolute soul after that? So he took the movable nature as a base. From that he has created mind, ego, chittam, intellect. Four things he has created. These four things are called Chatvara Manavaha. So, from these four things, from these four parts, invisible internal organs, these are four parts, except mind, other three, ego, chittam, and intellect, they encircled a part of the soul, a part of the soul, and they formed like a ball shape. So that is called the Jivatma, mortal soul. So the mortal soul is encircled by Buddhi, Chittam, Aham, intellect, Chittam, and ego. So when this thing is happened, after that, what happened? From the second part of the Prakriti, that is called Chara Prakriti or movable nature, immediately a body got created, a human body got created. In that human body, the mind spread whole body. Mind spread whole body. So this way, the creation happened and first time human being was created. So the seven parts of the immortal soul is called Maharshya Sapta, and four parts of the uh, movable nature are called the Chatvaro Manavaha. So this way the creation was happened. By not knowing this, people wrote like seven rishis and four manus. That is not right. So uh, when God has created the human template first time using the nature and the immortal soul, first he has created. So according to that, what he did, so he created other creatures as well. In first time, he sent 108 immortal souls and created 108 human beings. So in 108, 54 are good and 54 are male, 54 are female. In 54 male, 27 are good, 27 are bad. And in 54 female, 27 are good, 27 are bad. So that means good and bad means people with good emotions, people with bad emotions. That way we have to understand. So this counting he made it into three times because there are three divisions of dispositions, right? Satvika, Rajasa, Tamasa. That way in each for each division of disposition, 108 people got created. That way human beings are 324 number. So in that 162 are male, 162 are female. So this is a human species. So God created 324 species. So other than after human beings were created, 324 human beings were created. So there were 323 other species he created. There for each species the count is 324. That is coming 100, 100,000, 4,000, 104,652 creatures total number. When you add the human beings number 324 also, then it becomes 104,976 number. So when you add sum this one, it is becoming 27. At the end you will remain with 7. So that represents the immortal soul. After that, what God allowed is to increase the species number. So that way, in the beginning, there were 162 male, 162 female, but now the number of human beings reached to the 800 crores. 800 crores. 1 crore is 10 million. 800 crore people. So not only the 324 species, what Swami is saying, there might be increase in the species because of the what is that hybridization, hybridization, um, genetical modification. Because of the genetical modification, there might be more species as well. But some people are saying it's about 884, 84 lakh. 184 lakh. Lakh means 100,000. 8400,000 species. That may not be true. It may not be scientifically bound. So that's what Swami is saying over here. So first time there were 324 species. Among them, 108 came from egg, 108 came from the body, 108 came from the earth. So God's creation is in three types. So which come from egg, which come from body, which come from the earth. So those are like plants, trees, and all those things, right? Plants, trees, vines, all those things. So when you eliminate the four species of human beings, there it remains 104 species which born from the uh, which are born from the body itself. 108 species came from eggs, 108 came from the earth. So, and also these will grow like one grows upward towards the sky, one grows horizontally, one grows towards the earth. So the four species which grow downward the um, earth is only the human beings. Other things are like there are which grow horizontal, which grow vertically upward. So the number of the species is scientifically bound along with the big education Brahma Vidya. They are 324 only. But how much number came from, how much number increased from each species? It's a duty of the physics, the scientist who studies the physics. So he has to tell the number. Number is not, the Brahma Vidya does not say the number. So it says about the species only. So telling the number is related to the worldly wisdom. So that way in this slokam, what God said is Maharshaya Sapta means 7 parts of the immortal soul. Chatvaro Manavaha means 4 parts of the 4 parts which are mind, intellect, chittam and ego. So if you don't understand that way, and if you just understand that as 7 rishis and 4 manus, so the real notion of the slokam will go away somewhere. So that way, so we came to know that after creation of the 7 maharshas and 4 manavahas, then only all the creatures got created. So the first time when there were no creatures, that was called Prapancham, the world. After that all the creatures are created, right? That is called Jagati. So they will have birth and death. That is called Jagati. All the creatures will have that, right? So when you sum the world and Jagati, it is called universe. So the world is different and Jagati is different. When you add both of them, we say combined. When you combine both of them, we say universe. Universe means both the world and the life, both will be there. Living creatures, living entities. So we will come to know more about the universe in the next chapter. So let us do Mangala Prarthana and end the session. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Mahaniya Prabodhatmane Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Sadhu Rupaya Mangalam. Prabodhatnam to everyone.